that French G.
Any questions on our end?
Is it Haas?
Yeah.
Hunter Haas. Bovey.
Yep.
Ferreras.
Yeah.
Pascanel.
Just pass. Like pass the ball.
Pass Ferreras. Okay.
Pass Ferreras.
It is erasable, yeah. Schliger.
Yep.
Mydroth.
Yep.
Jewett.
That's right.
Gamelin. Kavanaugh.
Yep.
Yost, starter.
Yeah,
Yost, not Yost, okay. Ivron. Ivrin, okay. So like Ivrin.
Yeah.
Markle, I think we saw him,
Yeah.
and that's it.
Yeah.
So, cool.
You guys got any questions? I think you guys got any tricky ones that you look at? Roberge. That's what we're going with.
Robeson or Robinson?
Roberge.
Robeson?
Yeah, we haven't added anybody since then. We did get corrected on a pronunciation.
The Falmouth Commodores are hot, as some might say, as they enter today with a 3-game winning streak as they play host to the Y-D Red Sox for just 1 game today and not 2 in the doubleheader we saw back on June 26th. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us on today's edition of Opening the Door alongside Trey Redfield, today's color commentator, Logan Soforenko with you. And Trey, let's jump right into things. We saw some pretty awesome baseball these past couple of days, but we saw some even more awesome stuff on the 4th of July where the Falmouth Commodores defeated the Cotuit Kettleers for the 2nd straight day to now lead the season series.
Yeah, they took the home-and-home series. Did so on July 3rd, shutting out the Kets, and then went into Lowell Park, taking down Cotuit by a score of 10-7. Propelled by Andrew Pinckney, who had 2 home runs. One was a 2-run blast, another was a 3-run blast, and he watched those things fly out too, and rightfully so. When you want to play against your biggest rival, you got to compete against them. The Commodores did that and then some. So important to keep it going, knowing the second half starts today.
Second half starts today. We saw the big part of our offense disappear as they went to Team USA earlier last week, but we got a couple of new guys that entered to kind of start this win streak, that of course being Peyton Stovall and Jace Porafin, the Arkansas boys, but we also got some new guys today for the Falmouth Commodores.
Yeah, a couple of them that just got added. There are 3 new faces coming in. One was added on July 4th. We'll actually see him on the mound today. It's Josh Roberge coming out of Southern New Hampshire. We also have a couple of Texas A&M Aggies that are going to help us out at the plate as well. So really important to get these additions in, knowing we may see some guys go out the door for the MLB draft.
Especially with the MLB draft, July 17th, that looming date. But right now, as we take on the Y-D Red Sox, the Falmouth Commodores, as they had their doubleheader on June 26th, just 1 total run of offense. And we talked about it a little bit earlier today. The Falmouth Commodores, one of 3 teams batting under 200 as a team. The other teams, of course, being the Chatham Anglers and the Harwich Mariners. So when it comes to the offensive end today, what are Trey's takes to strike early against the Hot Sox?
Oh, Trey's takes. We love us some Trey's takes. It's pretty simple going up against Y-D, right? Just get guys on base. Last time Falmouth took on Yarmouth Dennis, you said it, only 1 run was scored, and it came from a guy who's not even here. It's Braden Taylor, who is in Cary, North Carolina right now, competing and now earning a spot on the collegiate national team. So it's really important for the Falmouth bats to get going, knowing what Yarmouth Dennis did last time these guys faced off. We talked about how the Red Sox bats are hot as well. The Commodores got to hang around with that too. You know, it's a new hap. It's a new opportunity for things to get going. Going into the second half, the Commodores are one of 3 teams in the CCPL that are hitting under 200 alongside the Chatham Anglers and somehow, in some way, the Harwich Mariners. But completely beside the point. The Commodores, they got to get on base, and they got to make it happen today.
The Falmouth Commodores on their 3-game win streak. They defeated the Bourne Braves and then beat Cotuit for 2 games in a row. But let's see if it's a different result tonight against the Y-D Red Sox. It's the beginning of a new work week on a Wednesday, as crazy as that is to say out loud. It's the Falmouth Commodores and the Y-D Red Sox. First pitch at 6 p.m. You can tune in on the YouTube live stream at youtube.com/Falmouth Commodores to listen to Trey Redfield on the color and Carter Bainbridge on the play-by-play. We'll see you soon on First Pitch. This has been Opening the Door.
Before we get started with tonight's festivities, we want to let everybody know that if you are a kid and you want to stand on the field during the national anthem, line up by the gate in right field near the Commodores dugout right now. Look for the game day interns with the kids event sign. Again, kids, if you want to stand on the field during the national anthem, line up by the gate in right field near the Commodores dugout. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and welcome to Guv Fuller Field for tonight's game between the Yarmouth Dennis Red Sox and your own Falmouth Commodores. First, the lineups for the visiting Y-D Red Sox. Leading off, the left fielder from Cal State Fullerton, number 7, Caden Connor. Batting second, the shortstop from Arizona State, number 2, Hunter Haas. Batting third, the second baseman from San Diego, number 14, Chase Mydroth. Batting fourth, the designated hitter from Cal State Long Beach, number 24, Johnny Long. Batting fifth, the center fielder from San Diego State, Cole Carrig. Batting sixth, the first baseman from Nebraska, number 19, Michael Bovey. Batting seventh, the third baseman from Western Carolina, number 3, Paz Ferreras. Batting eighth, the right fielder from Grand Canyon, number 8, Homer Bush Jr. Batting ninth, the catcher from Georgia, number 22, Fernando Gonzalez. And on the mound tonight for the Red Sox from Northeastern, number 30, Eric Yost. And now, the lineup for your own Falmouth Commodores. Leading off, the shortstop from Duke, number 4, Alex Mooney. Batting second, the third baseman from Florida, number 7, Colby Halter. Batting third, the second baseman from Arkansas, number 10, Peyton Stovall. Batting fourth, the first baseman from Oregon, number 33, Jacob Walsh. Batting fifth, the catcher from Oregon, number 12, Josiah Cromwick. Batting sixth, the designated hitter from Georgia, number 25, Corey Collins. Batting seventh, the center fielder from Alabama, number 24, Andrew Pinkney. Batting eighth, the right fielder from South Florida, number 16, Drew Brutcher. Batting ninth, the left fielder from Sam Houston State, number 1, Anthony McKenzie. And on the mound tonight, making his Commodore debut from Southern New Hampshire University, number 32, Joshua Roberge. The umpires tonight behind the plate is Mickey Garcia. At first base is Rudy Firm, and at third base is Michael Lightbody. do not start yet. Thank you, guys.
What's going on, Commodore fans? Welcome to the first edition of The Hot Seat, where we interview your favorite Commodore players more than just baseball. That's Chase Jeter, left-handed pitcher out of now Bryant. I'm Trey Redfield. So glad you're with us. And Chase, I got to start with the move from Sacred Heart to Bryant. Why was that?
So I'm going into my grad year, and Bryant has typically been one of the better teams in the Northeast for a while. And just wanted to join a really good program, and they have really good graduate programs there as well. I'm going to be doing their one-year MBA, so I'm really excited about the opportunity next year.
So this is the second time you've been in the transfer portal. The first time was going from Dartmouth to Sacred Heart. What was different about that, and why did you go through it again?
So it was different because the new rules that they passed, players are immediately eligible. So there's just a lot more people in the transfer portal and a lot more people looking to transfer. So it's definitely a little bit tougher now getting your name out with so many other people out there, but that's probably the biggest difference, I would say.
What's your favorite baseball memory?
Favorite baseball memory is probably last summer here. That was a big highlight of my career. Just spending the summer with the guys here was one of the most fun seasons I've ever had, and I'm really excited to be back for my second summer.
You took. What's going on, Commodore fans? That's Carter Bainbridge. I'm Trey Redfield. That was just a snippet of the first edition of The Hot Seat. You can find that on our YouTube channel at youtube.com/Falmouth Commodores. We have plenty more coming for you with The Hot Seat. That's just the start, but there's going to be so much more going along throughout the year. It's the Dores and the Sox coming up soon. Keep it here.
Tonight, we pay tribute to one of our long-term host families, Larry and Sally Ferreira. The Ferreiras started hosting in 2004, treating each player as if he were their own and keeping in touch even after the baseball season ended. Sadly, they both passed away during the most recent offseason. You could always count on the Ferreiras to never leave a game until the last out. They would tease others who left the game early by saying, "You may miss the greatest comeback of all time." Larry and Sally were fixtures on host Family Hill and arrived early in the day to stage their seat. Larry and Sally will be missed, but will always remain part of the Commodore family. To help us celebrate the lives of both Larry and Sally and all they contributed to the Falmouth Commodores, we welcome their family and friends to Guv Fuller Field this evening and are honored to have a few participate in the pre-game ceremonies. Tyler Calderwood is the grandson of the late Sally and Larry. He is in the 6th grade and enjoys football and baseball. He plays for Falmouth Youth Baseball and is also in his 2nd year of being a bat boy for the Commodores. All right, Tyler, let's see a strike. Performing the national anthem tonight on French horn is Kari Fitek and her students. Meadow Fitek, Lucas O'Brien, Declan Lucy, Kate Partan, Sophie Perry, Eve Mayan. Kari plays in the Falmouth Town Band. Kari and her husband, Andrew, both teach private music lessons and are music teachers at Falmouth Public School, where Kari recently acquired a Falmouth Education Fund grant, so each elementary student in town now owns 3 child-sized French horns. Falmouth 4th graders can choose to learn French horn, and this magnificent instrument's popularity is having a comeback from near extinction. Please rise for the national anthem. Granddaughter of the late Sally and Larry. She is headed to the 6th grade in the fall. She enjoys music, drama, and gymnastics. Caitlin plays the flute in her school band and jazz band, is an active member of Drama Fun in Sandwich. Let's hear those words we love to hear.
Oh.
Well, after an off day, the Falmouth Commodores are back at Arnie Allen Diamond at Guv Fuller Field. The team to greet them after a day of rest won't be an easy out, though. The Yarmouth Red Sox already beat the Dores twice in a doubleheader in June and currently lead the Eastern Division. Good evening, everybody. Carter Bainbridge, along with my color commentary partner, Trey Redfield, for another edition of Cape Cod League Baseball, this time post-off day, Trey. A tough task for the Dores today, but they're as hot as any team on the Cape right now, coming off that home-and-home sweep of the rival Cotuit Kettleers.
You'll take that any day of the week. A sweep against the Kets. Did it at Guv Fuller Field to start off, and then went over to Lowell Park to beat them 10-7. And knowing the second half is starting today, Carter, it's really important for the Dores to stay hot. Right now, they're in playoff position. It's really important that they're in playoff position at the end of the season, at least last time I checked, but that's the way it has to be for Falmouth.
Well, those 2 wins and a 3-game winning streak have taken Falmouth from last to 4th place in the Western Division, which may not sound all that impressive, but it is when you think about how the playoff system works in this league. The top 4 teams from each division makes it, so it's not about how you start for the Dores, it's how they're trying to finish in the second half.
That's extremely important. It's like I said, you just have to keep the good times rolling if you're the Falmouth Commodores, keep the mustaches up and everything for Falmouth, for at least the guys that can grow it. But really important for Falmouth to grab another win tonight against a really tough Y-D team. Like you said, leads the Eastern Division.
Well, we're just about set to get things underway here at the Guv as the first batter strolls up to the plate. It's left fielder Caden Connor against a new right-hander, Trey, making his debut this summer, Josh Roberge.
Josh Roberge is a guy that comes out of Southern New Hampshire, D2 school that's in the NE10. And for the Penmen this season, didn't have that bad of a year. You know, he threw 5 complete games. He's someone that throws pretty good stuff as well. So it's really important for him to keep going. You know, he had 15 appearances this year. Let's find out what he does tonight.
Fires a first pitch to Connor. And we're underway here from the Guv. 0-1 the count on the Y-D left fielder hitting leadoff today. Josh Roberge, right-hander on the mound, making his summer debut. 0-1 delivery is a little low and away, and the count 1-1. Roberge coming over from Southern New Hampshire University. 6'3" right-hander, just finished up his sophomore spring. 1-1, low and away to Connor. With Hunter Haas, the shortstop, on deck, hitting second. Chase Mydroth at second, hitting third. Johnny Long, the DH, hits cleanup. Cole Carrig in center, hitting fifth. Mike Bovey, the first baseman, hits sixth. As the 2-1 pitch just misses a little low, according to home plate umpire Mickey Garcia. As we round out the Y-D lineup, Pass Ferreras, the third baseman, hitting seventh. Homer Bush Jr. in right, hitting eighth. And Fernando Gonzalez, the catcher, hitting ninth. Roberge's 3-1 is a swing and a miss upstairs, and it's 3-2. 92 on the fastball from this right-hander in his first inning of work this summer for the Dores. So full count on Connor. Payoff pitch is fouled to the left side, and it stays 3-2 as Colby Halter gives it a jog over by foul ground. And for those of you who have gotten accustomed to watching Falmouth games on our YouTube channel, at least home games played here at the Guv, you're probably wondering why you're not seeing our center field camera right now, and that's because it's currently under some repairs, so we won't have it for this game tonight. 3-2 is a cut on and missed. Roberge gets him for out number one here in the top of the first inning.
That was a battle to start off. You know, that's just what Y-D brings to the table. It's one of the best hitting teams in the league for a reason because it forces full counts. You win some, you lose some, just like what the Commodores do at the plate, but Y-D has been more successful in putting balls into play.
And now Hunter Haas, shortstop for Y-D, hitting second. With the bases empty and one down, takes up high. Colby Halter at third base is in a couple steps towards the edge of the infield grass. Now the 1-1. Up and inside to Haas, and it's 2-0. Hunter Haas, the team leader in batting average for Y-D, getting his first cracks today. Guy who can steal a base. He's 11 for 12 in that category this summer. One of the finest contact hitters in the Cape League so far. 2-0 off the edge of the glove of Cromwick behind the plate for Falmouth, and it's 3-0. So two batters, 2 3-ball counts worked by Roberge. Haas at the plate, the righty bat trying to get on. Fastball pumped in for a strike at 90 miles an hour, and it's 3-1. Roberge ready. 3-1. Fouled back, so another full count. Second one of the day in as many batters. And Haas still alive at the plate with Chase Mydroth on deck, the number 3 hitter for Y-D. And the defense for Falmouth in outfield left to right, Anthony McKenzie, Andrew Pinkney, and Drew Brutcher. Infield after this pitch. Fouled left side on the ground, and the count stays full. Colby Halter at third, Alex Mooney at short, Peyton Stovall at second base, and Jacob Walsh over at first. And Josiah Cromwick doing the catching today for Roberge. The first time these two have thrown to each other, at least in a game situation. Full count pitch is a little bit off the plate, and Haas takes a walk. First base runner allowed of the game by the Dores, and it's a one-out walk here in the top of the first inning.
Roberge just missed that. Like you couldn't get any closer than that pitch right there. And Cromwick tried to help out his battery mate. You know, he tried to push it in a little bit to the left, to his left, that is, but wasn't enough. Mickey Garcia is a very good umpire, one of the best in the CCBL. Just missed there, but you know what? Talking about Garcia, the Commodores really, really enjoy him. I remember he did a game against at Bourne earlier in the year, and Ryan Eiley had a big smile on his face because he knows how good of an umpire Garcia is.
So Mydroth was getting ready, but time called at the plate as the sun peeks through the clouds here at the Guv. Hunter Haas, the shortstop on first base, he just walked with one out in the first inning. And Chase Mydroth at the plate, the second baseman hitting third. 263 average on the summer. First pitch is up high for ball one. 1-0 the count from Roberge, who pitched in 15 games, 13 starts at Southern New Hampshire U, 3.38 ERA and 93 in a third innings. He pitched a lot. 1-0 is swing and a miss as Mydroth goes down to a knee, and it's 1-1. So for Roberge, the numbers very good all across the board. 33 walks, 101 strikeouts. He kept the ball in the ballpark pretty well. Opponent average 243. 1-1. Foul to the right side, and it's 1-2. Three batters in, Y-D trying to put a ball in play off this right-hander. Strikeout to Connor, and then a walk to Haas to start this game. If you're just joining us, top of the first, 0-0. Johnny Long, the DH for Y-D on deck, another right-handed hitter. Pitch to Haas, or pitch to Mydroth as a swing as Haas doesn't go, and it's a fly ball for Pinckney, who makes the catch out in center. Moderate depth, but there's out number 2 here in the top of the first.
Now batting the designated hitter from Cal State Long Beach, number 24.
And now Johnny Long is the hitter with a runner at first base and 2 down here in the top of the first inning. These two teams finally playing a regulation length game. They played 2 out at Red Wilson Field in late June in a doubleheader. The second doubleheader on a Sunday that we had in the early season. Breaking ball gets the outside corner at 81. Good movement by Roberge, and the count 0-1 on Long. And Y-D swept that doubleheader that day by the combined score of 8-1. Down and away, and the count 1-1. And Trey, if I'm not mistaken, those 2 losses were what kicked off that 0-5-1 stretch that Falmouth suffered through.
Yeah, most definitely. And it was a downward spiral after that. But after that downward spiral, they went up. They fixed everything after that 0-0 tie, and somehow in some way they just kept it going.
Long popped that, offering foul, and it's 1-2. Falmouth went to Y-D and got stifled by that pitching staff, and it took them about 4 more games to get themselves right. Finally bottomed out with that scoreless tie against Brewster on the first of this month, but the Dores have been swinging the bats really well since then, and they ride a 3-game winning streak into entering today. 1-2 pitch on the outside corner, and Long is down looking. Second strikeout of the inning by Roberge as we head to the bottom of the first. Y-D leaves 1 with the top of the Falmouth order coming up. Mooney, Halter, and Stovall 1, 2, and 3 when we return in a scoreless tie here at the Guv.
Hottest take is that a straw has 2 holes, not 1.
What is your favorite place in Falmouth?
My favorite place in Falmouth right now, I would say, is Shoreway Acres Inn. A bunch of us, the interns, are staying there, and we're having such a great time getting to know each other.
Can you give me your best British accent?
Scott Sterling.
Is cereal a soup?
No, it's cereal. It's its own thing, right? What soup have you had with milk in it?
Hey Commodore fans, Logan Soforenko with you fieldside. The Falmouth Commodores were swept by the Y-D Red Sox in their doubleheader on June 26th. And folks, that's a day the Falmouth Commodores are looking to forget. They were greeted by some spectacular pitching as Jared Lyons set a he tied a franchise record with 12 strikeouts and tossing 6 scoreless innings. In game number 2, Connor Markle tossed 6 scoreless innings, striking out 8. The Falmouth Commodores' only run that day in both games came from a Braden Taylor solo home run. And folks, Braden Taylor has not been with the team since because as of yesterday, Braden Taylor, Maui Ahuna, Jack Payton, and Carson Montgomery all made the USA Collegiate National Squad. So while they're fighting for gold out in the Netherlands, the Falmouth Commodores are back home right now trying to extend their winning streak to 4 against the Y-D Red Sox. Guys, back to you.
Now, there was certainly a lot to unpack after that doubleheader at Y-D ended. It was the final game for a couple Commodores who were mainstays in this lineup. Braden Taylor, Jack Payton, Maui Ahuna among them. All 3 of those guys were really talented hitters to come through here this summer, and they were regular contributors. But the Dores just had 4 for 4 players end up on that national team, so clearly out here, at least in Falmouth, they can pick them. Eric Yost, the right-hander on the mound, deals the first offering to Mooney, who swings over it for strike 1 on a breaking ball, and the count 0-1. So Yost, 6'2" right-hander out of Northeastern. He pitched for the Huskies all in relief this spring. Another breaking ball and another miss by Mooney, who's quickly down on the count 0-2. But Yost making his 4th start of the summer for Y-D, for what has been one of the league's better pitching staffs. 0-2, breaking ball is up high this time, and the count 1-2 to Mooney. Yost, his first 3 starts, a 4.72 ERA in 13 1/3 innings, 15 hits, 9 earned runs. Mooney grounds this one to third. Ferreras gathers it and throws over well in time, and that's out number 1 here in the bottom of the first.
Now batting, the third baseman from Florida, number 7.
Yeah, Mooney didn't just get the best piece of contact there. You know, but Colby Halter's a guy that has a leadoff vibe as well. We talked to him earlier today, and he likes being at the top of the order, and he's got that old school vibe to him that I really, really like.
Halter could lead off games for a lot of teams on the Cape, but Alex Mooney has held that spot down for a good chunk of the season. Halter's been in that number 2 hole, and that's been a consistent part of this lineup. Halter takes strike 1 on the outside corner, and the count 0-1. A 91-mile-an-hour fastball from Yost to his first left-handed opponent today, the first of 3 in the Falmouth lineup. Peyton Stovall on deck and Jacob Walsh in the hole. 0-1 delivery. Low and away, and it's 1-1. So Stovall playing second on deck, Walsh playing first, hitting cleanup in the hole. Josiah Cromlick, the catcher, hits 5th. Corey Collins at DH hitting 6th. 1-1 pitch comes low and inside to Halter, and it's 2-1. Andrew Pinckney in center hitting 7th. Drew Brutcher in right hitting 8th. And Anthony McKenzie in left hitting 9th. So 7, 8, and 9, all 3 outfielders for Falmouth. But otherwise, the usual suspects in this starting 9. 2-1 is fly to center by Halter. Carrig coming into his right to make the catch, calling off Connor from left. And there's out number 2 here in the bottom of the first.
Yeah, Y-D looking a little odd with the shifts. I mean, if I remember correctly, the Red Sox are the only team that shifts in the Cape Cod Baseball League.
Now, they did it over there at Red Wilson Field,
They
did
did.
they not?
And
guys like Jacob Walsh.
Yeah, Jacob Walsh was a guy that beat the shift that day with a single in the top of the 7th in game 1. But, I mean, I'm a little surprised to see it, knowing these guys are going to be going pro next year and things like that. The shift won't be allowed next year. So what's the point of doing it? I mean, you had to win baseball games now, but to also, you want to familiarize these guys with pro ball. This won't be there next year.
Strike fired in to Stovall, who now has a 1-1 count on him with 2 down and the base is empty here. As you see another defensive shift, they're playing Stovall, the left-handed hitter, to pull. 1-1 is down low. They appeal to third, and Michael Lightbody says no. 2-1 now on Stovall, so you see 2 players over there on the right side. Hunter Haas is the closest to second base, and then Mydroth is the man in the hole on the outfield grass between first and second. Breaking ball just missed, and it's 3-1 on Stovall. And then the man on the island over there on the left side is Paz Ferreras, the third baseman, who's got a whole lot of ground to cover if the ball is hit that way. Down and in, might have clipped Stovall as well, but in any event, he takes to first on what is going to be called a walk. First base on balls of the day allowed for Yost. And Jacob Walsh comes to the plate with a man at first and 2 down. And this is a spot that the Dores surely like to have this man in with how he's been playing lately.
Yeah, last time he was at home, he had his 4th home run of the season. Puts himself in the top 3 on Cape Cod. Why not keep it going here?
That pitch skips off the plate, off the hand of Yost, and it's 1-0 on Walsh. So the last time Jacob was here, that was July 3rd against the Cotuit Kettleers when he went 2 for 4 with a home run and a single. Yesterday, or on the 4th rather, at Cotuit, he had 2 walks as the Kets started to pitch around him a little more. Breaking ball and a good one from Yost, and it's 1-1.
That was nasty.
Serious movement on what is kind of a breezy day here. We've definitely had windier, but keep your eye out to what happens when guys start hitting the ball in the air. 1-1. Breaking ball, same spot, line to left by Walsh, but Connor had him played that way, and that's the 3rd out in the bottom of the 1st inning. So Walsh put the sweet spot of the bat on it, but couldn't come up with a base hit. As the Dores strand a runner at first, we head to the top of the 2nd. Carrig, Bovey, and Ferreras due up for Y-D as we return shortly in a scoreless tie.
Hey there, Commodore fans. Thanks for joining us and cheering on your Falmouth Commodores. Want to take a break from the action? Come make a visit to the merchandise booth. Check us out behind home plate. We have a bunch of new designs for you to purchase, from hats to shirts, jerseys, crew necks, wine glasses, and even baby bibs. You think of it, we probably have it. From youth sizes to even adult double XLs. We have everything you need for family and friends. Be sure to come say hello and get a piece of Falmouth merch. Make a trip before we close up shop in the 9th inning. See you soon, and roll Dores.
Still early in this game between the Falmouth Commodores and Yarmouth Dennis Red Sox. Both teams in the 1st inning with a walk, but runners stranded over at first base as the 2 starters in this game, Eric Yost for Y-D and Josh Roberge for Falmouth, got through clean frames. And now here in the top of the 2nd, it's Cole Carrig, the center fielder for the Red Sox, leading things off against the Falmouth right-hander making his summer debut. Fouled to the left side off the bat of Carrig, and it's 0-1. 0-2 pitch is off the plate, and it's 1-2.
That was designed. Cromwick was lined up over there on the left side, trying to make Carrig chase, but he didn't bite. Smart idea there by the left-handed batter.
Swing and an ugly one by Carrig, who now jogs to first, a strikeout victim. Cromwick and Walsh complete the play, and there's the 3rd K in the book already for Roberge. One away here in the top of the 2nd.
Yeah, he's looking great right now. That was a nasty breaking ball that Carrig sorted at.
We saw plenty of strikeouts out at Y-D, did we not? Especially when Jared Lyons was pitching.
On the other side.
A right-hander for the Red Sox, who was just dominant on June 26th in Game 1. Struck out 12 to tie a Y-D record. The Dores grateful that. So Roberge making his season debut and firing strikes in the early going. Grounded sharply to first. Fair ball as Walsh jogs his way over to first base to win the race to the bag. And there's out number 2 here in the top of the second.
Yeah, first base umpire Rudy Fernbach had to get out of the way there. He put his hands up trying to move his way out of his way, too. I thought that was a foul ball for a second. A little bit of miscommunication there, but luckily enough, Bovee wasn't offended by it whatsoever. He still ran it out. And it was a close one down the line, but you got to give credit to Jacob Walsh a lot. When they're grooving, they show it a lot by how fast they move on the mound.
0-2. Got him. Quite a start for Josh Roberge in his first start of the summer for the Dores. He's through his second inning of work, had 2 Ks in this one as the Red Sox don't score. Cromwick, Collins, and Pinckney, 5, 6, and 7 coming up for the Dores in the bottom of the second.
Cartwheel. I'm not a gymnast. I think I'd pull something if I did a cartwheel.
Would you rather be able to fly or be invisible?
I'm going to go with fly, honestly. I think flying would be pretty cool. Be able to be up in the air around everybody, fly with some birds. Be pretty cool stuff, Carson.
Okay, Anders, now do your best and favorite dance move.
And the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in a...
Well, we're still scoreless here at Guv Fuller Field as we head to the bottom of the second inning between the Falmouth Commodores and the Yarmouth Dennis Red Sox. In the third meeting between these two intra-division foes, Falmouth entering in 4th place in the Western Division and the Red Sox in 1st in the East, ahead barely of the Brewster Whitecaps.
Got to give Brewster some credit. We were talking, the first time we went out to Brewster, talking to Johnny Godamwitz and Doug Latuka, the Whitecaps broadcasters, and they were saying, yeah, this team can't hit right now. I mean, that...
2-1 delivery. Check swing, but a called strike at the plate, and it's 2-2. Well, the defending champion Whitecaps have slowly but surely worked their way back up in the standings. They were middling for a good part of the early season, struggled to get over 500, but over that mark today as Cromwick goes down.
Roberge is with strikes. Collins, not Collins, excuse me, Yost, as of right now, is just jamming guys. Letting the batters go after, but also be fooled.
Well, Yost has been throwing that breaking ball well in the early going. High 70s with that curveball. Collins just swung at one of them, and now another can't quite catch the outside corner. But again, that pitch has been working early for Yost, who had a 2.48 ERA at Northeastern this spring. He was very effective for the Huskies in 61 2/3. 1-1. A little low. Collins didn't bite at it, and it's 2-1. But across the board, he flies this one the opposite way foul, and it's 3-2.
I'm just waiting for Collins to hit one of these out of there. He keeps just missing it.
Well, Collins, a guy known for his power pedigree all the way back to his days going to high school in Georgia with North Gwinnett High. 3-2. Fouled back, and it's 3-2. And what foul balls back of the plate suggest to you, whether they're popped or lined here in the bottom of the second, and Andrew Pinckney coming to the plate, Trey, trying to build off that monster game he had 2 days ago.
Oh, my goodness. It was awesome. 2 home runs. A 2-run blast first, 3-run blast after that. And he crushed them into the wood, and quoting myself, into the woods of Lowell Park.
First pitch to him is tapped off the plate, foul, and it's 0-1. So Pinckney in that game, 2 for 3 with 2 home runs and 5 driven in. He scored a 3rd run of the day after he was hit by a pitch, stole second, and then came around from second base on a wild pitch. So he was all over the diamond against the Kettleers, and it's 0-2 still. So Collins not really a base stealer over at first base. He didn't even try one at Georgia this spring. Pinckney at the plate with an 0-2 count. Yost trying to focus up. Line foul again. And the count's still 0-2 on Pinckney, who's Working on those gloves, adjusting them tightly on the hands as he tries to get around on one of these offerings from Yost.
Yeah, it's just he's got to load up a little bit more. Maybe pop back in the batter's box a little bit. But it all comes down to Pinckney loading up and choking up on the bat like he is doing right now.
0-2. Breaking ball, grounded into the hole at short and into left for a base hit. Took an odd bounce off that infield dirt over on the left side, but no play for any Y-D fielder. And Andrew Pinckney's staying hot. He starts his day today with a one-out single to advance Collins to second.
It's exactly what did I tell you? I mean, I'm not an expert or anything. I mean, just
Anthony McKenzie on deck. Yost's first offering is a ground ball to second base. My draw to Haas on to first to complete the double play. 4-6-3 it goes, and that ends the bottom of the second inning. The Dores get a hit. They leave a pair as we go on to inning number 3. Bush, Gonzalez, and Connor, 8, 9, and 1 for Y-D, due up when we return.
Falmouth Commodore, be sure to sign up to become a host family today. Hosting a Cape League player can be very rewarding. Players connect and bond with the families, often forming lifelong relationships. Please remember that every Commodores player is bound and governed by NCAA rules and regulations. In order to maintain their collegiate athletic ability, host families receive a weekly allowance from the Falmouth Commodores to help cover player expenses. Host families are not required to provide transportation to players. The Falmouth Commodores are very grateful to the wonderful families that host our players each and every year. If you are interested in hosting a Falmouth Commodores player for the summer, contact our housing coordinator Lisa Smuda at lisatz143@comcast.net. For more information, visit our website at falmouthcommodores.com. Thank you for supporting our players, and roll Dores.
Well, welcome back to Guv Fuller Field as this game is moving right along. We head to the top of the third inning between the Dores and Red Sox. Falmouth and Y-D locked up in a scoreless tie. Falmouth just threatened in the bottom of the second but stranded 2 runners. Or they had 2, rather, when Brutcher hit into a double play to end that threat. Homer Bush Jr.
to the small 352-foot fence in center field at Red Wilson Field. And it was something that Y-D broadcasters Sam Lebowitz and Carlo Jimenez were telling me about. He just ran into the fence, chipped his tooth. I haven't gotten to see him yet, Bush, but who knows? Maybe he fixed it. Maybe he has half a false tooth like me.
Well, we can't get a good view from up here, unfortunately. Bush at the plate now with a 2-2 count. Fouled right off the plate and right off of Cromwick. Definitely caught a piece of the Falmouth catcher, who's now hit hard enough to cause dental damage. Swing and a miss there, though. Bush down on strikes. The 5th K of the game for Roberge. And Fernando Gonzalez coming to the plate with 1 away and the base is empty. Some kind of start to the Falmouth career and today against Y-D for Josh Roberge.
He's just got to keep it going. You know, this is the end of your first time around the order with Gonzalez because Connor's now on deck, the leadoff guy. It's just so important to keep it going when you go into this.
Out number 2 here in the top of the third inning. Not a lot of hard contact off these Y-D bats, Trey, and that's certainly news because the Red Sox entering the day were the second highest scoring team on the Cape behind only Katuitt.
And throughout the season, they've been top 3 on the slashes. Average, on base, slugging, OPS also in the top 3. It's been like that all season.
3 games, a loss against Wareham and then a loss and a tie against Hyannis. As this pitch grounded to third, Halter gathers with plenty of time. Walsh digs it out, and that's out number 3 here in the top of the third. A ground out ends things as the Red Sox go 1-2-3. We head to the bottom of the third. McKenzie, Mooney, and Halter, 9-1-2 for Falmouth, coming up next.
Hey Commodores fans, sharpen your baseball skills with some of America's finest players from the best college programs in the country. Clinic attendees will have opportunities to work on hitting, base running, infield and outfield play, as well as pitching and catching. Attendees will also participate in Commodores Chat, where coaches and players discuss topics like sportsmanship, academics, teamwork, and other issues important to being an all-around player. Clinics are offered Tuesday, June 21st through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. 3 separate clinics will be offered for ages 5 to 14.
Well, the Falmouth Commodores and Y-D Red Sox are in a standoff right now here at Guv Fuller Field. It's 0-0 heading to the bottom of the third inning. After 5 pretty quick half-inning frames, only 1 hit on the board, courtesy of Falmouth's Andrew Pinckney in the second inning. Now Anthony McKenzie, Alex Mooney, and Colby Halter, the 9-1 and 2 hitters for Falmouth. Carrig retrieves it as McKenzie reaches on a worm burner through the middle of the diamond. He stands at first with nobody down here in the bottom of the third.
Yeah, worm burner was the best way to describe it, but also it was in a very good spot. McKenzie may have gotten jammed a little bit, wasn't the best sound coming off the bat, but hey, if it's in the outfield, it's on the ground and through for a base hit, that'll play. Now it's up for the top. Now it's up to the top of the order to get something going here with Mooney. There's a wide open hole out there in right center field.
McKenzie at first, Mooney at the
Way Park about 8 or 9 years ago. I just remember it weirdly. I don't know.
Well, these Red Sox here at Guv Fuller Field are playing Mooney to pull defensively. He does have a wide open hole between first and second as another throw goes over. And McKenzie back, this time a little bit closer. At Sam Houston State was 10 for 11 this spring. He's over again on another throw. So Yost on the mound keeping his first baseman, Mike Bovey, pretty busy. With McKenzie at first, nobody down, and a 1-1 count on Mooney. Yost steals. Grounded to short. It's Haas, makes the flip to second onto first, double play. Second time in as many innings that a Commodore hitter has rolled into a twin killing. This time 6-4 to 3 it goes off the bat of Alex Mooney, and the bases are clear with Colby Halter. Foul to the right side over towards the Falmouth dugout, and none of the players on the edge could grab it on a hop. And one of the newcomers, Trey, comes out of the dugout to retrieve that. A couple guys coming in it today, new on the Falmouth roster. Will Johnston, number 20, just picked that up. His Texas A&M teammate Travis Chestnut, also a recent arrival. As a fastball comes in and nicks the inside corner to Halter, it's 0-2.
Also a recent arrival to College Station. Spent some of his time, spent 2 years at Temple College, and it keeps going on and on and on. 1 year, TCU's playing Texas A&M, got up to 11.
1-2 on Halter, who has seen strikes here and flies this one to deep left field. Connor heading back towards the fence and makes the catch going away. That ball driven more deeply off the bat of Halter than I think anybody on the diamond thought. But it's out number 3 in the bottom of the third. The Dores get a hit, but they don't score. As we head on to the top of the fourth in a scoreless tie between Y-D and Falmouth.
Wheels or doors?
I think wheels, honestly, because you use wheels like more than I feel like you would use doors, because if you're moving things around, more than likely it's on a wheel.
Welcome back to Guv Fuller Field, where the Falmouth Commodores and the Y-D Red Sox are still tied at 0 apiece. The Y-D Red Sox may be an Eastern Division team on Cape Cod, but they have a lot of Western roots, as 16 of their active players hail from West Coast universities, and that also may do with the fact that manager Scott Pickler has some West Coast roots as well. He was a second baseman with San Diego State University, and he also had quite the coaching career, where he had 123 wins and 36 losses in the high school level between Laura and Savannah, and he also won a CIF ring in 1983 with Laura. Oh, and also to add to all of his accolades, he's now the winningest coach in Cape League history. Guys, back to you.
Well, Well, Scott Pickler had just celebrated that accolade with Y-D becoming the league's winningest coach the last time we played the Red Sox back in late June. So we had plenty to say about that at the time. Y-D manager Scott Pickler certainly been here and done that in his baseball career. As Hunter Haas stands at the plate, first pitch from Roberge is a breaking ball on the outer half for a strike. And we've seen a whole lot of that today. Strike one. Oh, he doesn't even put it in play. And there's out number one here in the top of the fourth. Strike.
Oh, that was beautiful.
Number 6
That was
for
beautiful.
Roberge.
Sorry for stepping on you there, but yeah. Can you tell we're thinking about it a lot? The strikeout number?
It's been perhaps the biggest story so far in this game, and a lot you can say when there's only 2 hits on the board and the only ones belong to one team. Mydroth now at the plate. Looks strike one. Go by him. It's 0-1. One away, bases 0-2. Fastball just missed the outside corner. And Roberge had some things to say about it as that pitch crossed the plate. Home plate umpire Mickey Garcia, or at the very least, voices frustration. 1-2. Line to right center field. Brutcher heading over and has to play it on a bounce. A one-out single here for Mydroth in the top of the 4th inning. So there goes your no-hitter. First hit of the day for Y-D. And again, Mydroth putting good wood on the ball as he did in the first, and this time gets it to land.
Yeah, made Pinckney chase a little bit in that first at-bat, but I don't want to be that guy. I think Roberge got robbed.
1-0, a little further out, and it's 2-0. Mydroth only 2 for 2 on stolen bases this summer. A guy who entered hitting .263 as a throw goes over to first. And Mydroth is back. Long at the plate. Defense playing normally for Falmouth on the right-handed batter.
Hey, cheese. So good job from Roberge there to mix it up.
2-2. Runner goes. Mydroth heads for second. Swing and a miss. A strikeout as the throw tails into center field. Mydroth at first got up and started heading for third a few steps, but now goes back. So a strikeout and a stolen base on the same play. So Mydroth now 3 for 3 on swipes this summer. Long, a K victim, number 7 of the day for Roberge. And Cole Carrig is the hitter.
Yeah, smart play by Mydroth to stay over there. It's
a guy who enters the evening 10th in the league in batting average with a .302 mark. These Red Sox have 2 of the top 10, Haas the other. But Carrig at the plate right now. Change up low and away, and it's 2-0.
And from Roberge here, we talked a lot about him working quickly and stuff like that, but when it's not going your way, give yourself a second. Slow down.
2-0 delivery. Line to left center field. That's going to drop down a base hit. Mydroth can jog around third as Pinckney picks it up and fires for second as Carrig tries to make his way in and does. RBI double for the Y-D center fielder, and it's 1-0 Red Sox here in the top of the 4th inning.
That bounce doesn't happen. That awkward lip that's at the end of the
Fouled straight back by Mike Bovey, who now hits with a runner at second and 2 down in a 1-0 game. Y-D leads. So after 3 1/3 innings of no hit ball, the Red Sox have plated a run in this inning off a single by Mydroth and a double by Carrig. And Bovey at the plate now with a 0-1 count, and Carrig at second base. Low and away, and it's 1-1. Play the ball, though. He drops it in front of him as he suddenly lost sight of it, perhaps, lowered his glove about to waist level and couldn't come down with a basket catch.
I don't even really think he had the glove aligned to it either. He overplayed that ball. He was catching it like how kind of looking like a punt returner when it's coming back. but it just died right in front of him. The ball landed right in front of where his glove was lined up.
So Carrick at second base. The Dores blow a chance to get out of this inning, but 1-2 the count on Bovey, and Carrick did not get to steal third base on that play. 1-2. Line out number 3 to Roberge covering. So that ends things here in the top of the fourth inning. Y-D does get a run on an RBI double by Cole Carrick. As we head on to the bottom of the fourth, Stovall, Walsh, and Cromwick, the heart of the Falmouth order coming up.
Governed by NCAA rules and regulations. In order to maintain their collegiate athletic ability, host families receive a weekly allowance from the Falmouth Commodores to help cover player expenses. Host families are not required to provide transportation to players. The Falmouth Commodores are very grateful to the wonderful families that host our players each and every year. If you are interested in hosting a Falmouth Commodores player for the summer, contact our housing coordinator, Lisa Smuda, at lisatz143@comcast.net. For more information, visit our website at falmouthcommodores.com. Thank you for supporting our players, and roll Dores.
Welcome back to Guv Fuller Field. The Commodores with work to do, trailing the Red Sox by a score of 1-0. With Carter Bainbridge and Logan Soforenko on the field, I'm Trey Redfield. So glad you're with us for the third meeting of the season between the Dores and Sox.
Guy to throw strikes or focus up.
Right.
Mickey Garcia's got a gun on him, apparently.
He and the rest of his crew has been calling a good game so far. 1-0, swing and a miss, strike one. When I talked to Ryan Eiley a couple of games back, I believe it was at Bourne, they were told the umpires, he asked one of us, hey, who's behind home plate? We tell him Mickey Garcia is actually, as there's a liner that's caught by Yost. Quick reaction from the Northeastern Husky, and there's one gone here in the fourth.
Well, I would hate to be the doctor who hits Yost's knee with a hammer because his reflexes have got to be pretty good to make that play.
So he's aboard with a hit by pitch, but to my point about Garcia, we were at Bourne, and Ryan Eiley was trying to figure out who was behind the plate. And one of the GM interns, Gabe Gross, turns around and tells him it's Mickey Garcia. And Eiley had a big smile on his face, pumped his fist. First, he got him. The Commodores fall victim to another double play. This one, 6-4-3, as we go into the top of the fifth, and the Commodores still trail 1-0.
Hey Commodores fans, sharpen your baseball skills with some of America's finest players from the best college programs in the country. Clinic attendees will have opportunities to work on hitting, base running, infield and outfield play, as well as pitching and catching. Attendees will also participate in Commodores Chat, where coaches and players discuss topics like sportsmanship, academics, teamwork, and other issues important to being an all-around player. Clinics are offered Tuesday, June 21st through Friday from 9 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. 3 separate clinics will be offered for ages 5 to 14.
So after the Commodores get caught in their third double play tonight, they're back defensively in the top half of the fifth inning, trailing the Yarmouth Dennis Red Sox by a score of 1-0. Josh Roberge's afternoon is complete, and it's unfortunate that he didn't get the run support because he had a great line. 4 innings pitched, 2 hits, 1 run, and it was earned, a walk, and 7 strikeouts. And it pays way to Caleb Corbett, the junior from Louisville, and also resides in Louisville, sitting at 6 foot and 215 pounds. Trying to keep this a 1-run game is Corbett. This year he's making his 4th appearance on Cape Cod, 2 2/3 innings pitched, giving up 6 hits, 5 earned.
Especially where you see some guys struggle sometimes to keep their emotions in check, sometimes overthrowing, don't have their best stuff. Roberge really did. You hate to see the 1 run, the blemish on that line, because he was dealing through 3 1/3 no-hit innings. allowed a single, then an RBI double, but overall really impressive stuff from the right-hander. And now Caleb Corbett, a guy who's been around the block a few times with the Dores this summer. Right-hander out of Louisville, who just finished up his sophomore spring where he pitched 20 games in relief. Fastball slider pitcher primarily, and a guy who has certainly improved over his last couple appearances from what we saw in his debut performance against the Bourne Braves in that win that started this winning streak, July 2nd at Doran Park. He walked 2, struck out 2, but his first scoreless appearance of the summer in 3 tries was his latest.
First man he will face is Paz Pereiras. Comes from Stone Mountain, Georgia, where he plays college ball at Western Carolina in Cullowhee, North Carolina. Had 235
inning, and we've only been playing for a little over an hour, but the Dores hitting into 3 double plays will do that.
Swing and a miss on the 1-0. The count is even.
And
yeah,
you
said it. This game's flying.
You hope, that the off day didn't cool off the Dores, who had just won 3 straight games, scored 6, 5, and 10 runs against 3 pretty good Western Division teams.
1-1 is swung on and hit to the right side. Rutcher moving back a little bit, now coming in and makes the snag for the first out. Starts things off with Bush at 92 miles an hour. It's ball 1. Comes from Grand Canyon University. Started in all but 3 games this year with the Lopes. So looks at the 1-0, low and away. Now 2-0. Corbett not really liking that call. This season on Cape Cod, he has a couple of RBIs. With a batting average at .207. So it's now 3-0. Corbett's trying to find it with the fastball, but he just keeps missing low and a little bit away. 3-1 and goes foul to the right side out of play. The count's now full. And that gives you some confidence and some hope if you're Corbett, knowing you started this down 3-0. Corbett has his sign. Pay off. Takes some speed off that one, and it freezes Bush. An 82-mile-an-hour changeup sits Bush via the swinging strikeout the second time tonight, and there's 2 gone. Corbett working pretty quickly. Already dealt the 0-1 and misses high and away for ball 1.
With Corbett, he's just trying to pitch on his terms. We saw him bottom out basically on June 28th at Wareham when he faced 3 batters and didn't retire any of them.
1-1 pitch, hits to the right side, tailing foul and out of play. 1-2 now. Gonzalez coming into tonight, he's hitting 148. Comes out of Georgia. He's been caught stealing 3 to 10 base stealers this summer. Against Falmouth this season, he's 1 for 2.
Cheering on your Falmouth Commodores. Want to take a break from the action? Come make a visit to the merchandise booth. Check us out behind home plate. We have a bunch of new designs for you to purchase, from hats to shirts, jerseys, crew necks, wine glasses, and even baby bibs. You think of it, we probably have it. From youth sizes to even adult double XLs. We have everything you need for family and friends. Be sure to come say hello and get a piece of Falmouth merch. Make a trip before we close up shop in the 9th inning. See you soon, and roll Dores.
Just got started over in Chatham. Always a 7 o'clock start there at Veterans Field. Anglers taking on the Harwich Mariners, 2 teams that are struggling at the plate this season. A couple of goose eggs on the other side of Cape Cod as well. No score between the Orleans Firebirds and Wareham Gatemen. Not a lot of runs up around the league in general.
I was just about to say the same thing. Very Cape League scores.
Corey Collins with a bouncer over to the shortstop position on the shift. Hunter Haas was lined up over there with the left-handed hitting Collins, and already there's 1 gone. We are flying through this game. I'm knocking on wood saying that too because we are moving.
Yeah, these two teams in front of us aren't scoring runs either. And it's a little bit surprising because the Dores, being as hot as they were going into the off day, they now get to face a pitcher, Yost, who entering the day had an ERA up near 5, who had been hit around pretty well this summer.
First pitch to Andrew Pickney. I drop to first in time. 2 gone.
Well, at least they can't hit into another double play.
Yeah, Drew Brutcher did one of those in the second. That's how the second actually ended. But Yost stealing. Did so with Northeastern this season as well. Had himself a 2.48 ERA. Helped him become a Colonial Athletic Association honorable mention. As he misses well outside with the breaking ball. Now 1-0 on Drew. Yost went to high school at Fordham Prep. Had a couple of cousins that went out there, actually. Brutcher, on the other hand, was playing at a baseball-only facility in South Florida. He had 299 this season last year with the Bulls. That's a 2-1. Another one hits to the right side. This one gets through for a base hit. So Drew Brutcher has his first single today. It's Falmouth's third hit on the evening. And it now brings up Anthony McKenzie, who also has himself a single. Anthony got a piece of it, so it's 0-1 on the Sam Houston State Bearcat.
But the hit that Brutcher also just had wouldn't have reached the outfield if Y-D was just playing a normal alignment. That was a shift single against a team that does it quite a bit.
0-1 misses inside, count even. And it just surprises me that they're doing it because McKenzie with a line shot caught by Bovee.
I'll finish that thought later.
That's how the bottom of the 5th inning ends. Still 1-0 your score. Commodores trailing the Red Sox. Top of the order due up when we come back.
To spending time with all of the other great interns, looking forward to watching good baseball, spending time around the field, and being in Falmouth again.
It was just such a great experience last year. I mean, there's nothing better. I mean, it's the best players in the country, and the opportunity to cover them is awesome.
We welcome you back to
just nothing to sneeze at. But these first 3 hitters for Y-D, some of the best batters in the league. Connor, Haas, and Mydroth. Connor today 0 for 2, Haas 0 for 1. Mydroth did have that single, but Roberge really held him in check for a lot of the game.
So here's Caden Connor, Cal State Fullerton Titan. Came into today with 64 at-bats. Sitting 266 on the season. First pitch from Corbett. This one. And then grounded out to third in the 3rd inning. 1-1 pitch. Fastball bouncer off the middle, off Corbett. Mooney picks it up with a backhand. Jeter throw, nothing there. So Caleb Corbett not having the quicker reactions like Eric Yost did with that liner that came back to him. Where at first that was a close one. Walsh couldn't apply to tag quick enough. Seen a lot of double plays today, but all of them came in the bottom halves. Let's find out if Falmouth can turn one defensively here. We've seen a lot of double plays made by the Commodores this season defensively. First pitch, 90 miles an hour from Corbett.
Well, we can talk all we want about the double plays today. The Dores have hit into 3 already, but the pitchers so far to appear in this game have been great. Eric Yost for Y-D, Josh Roberge, and Caleb Corbett so far for the Dores. They've been on point, and they've been firing strikes.
Corbett comes set. 0-2 pitch. That one's nubbed. Over to shortstop. Mooney picks it up. Has one play. Throws to first. He got him. Great reach by Jacob Walsh. Helps to have a guy that's 6'4" over there at first base, Carter.
Well, it certainly does, and that also a good play on the other end by Alex Mooney, a guy who we've seen is a hustler defensively. He'll try to make a throw in the 4th.
Fastball misses low and away. Ball 1 at 91 miles an hour. Red Sox hanging out at the top of the Eastern Division, 25 points, 2 points ahead of Brewster. Falmouth, on the other hand, in playoff position, but at 4th place with 18 in the West. 1-0. On the outer half. Nice paint job there from Corbett. Count even at 1. No one holding on Connor over at first base. Hydroth with an opportunity to double things up. 2-1. A flare into left center field. Mooney going out. Pinckney dives. He can't get it. McKenzie scoops it up, throws it into the infield, and that's best case scenario for the Commodores. Because now over at third base is Connor. And
perhaps the Dores can roll one here to get themselves out of a jam.
It's been a strikeout evening for Johnny Long. He's 0 for 2 today with a couple of Ks. He starts ahead 1-0. Down looking in the first, down swinging in the fourth. Connor's over at third. Mydroth over at first. Both got on base via the single. One out. So no longer a strikeout evening for the designated hitter. And the top half keeps going for the Sox. And it now brings up Cole Carrick.
And a tough error on that play on Alex Mooney, who did his best to try to make a play. We just mentioned how many times he tries to make those throws, and that one he had an honest chance. It wasn't necessarily a ball he should have just eaten. Trying to come up without number 2 and just couldn't be corralled over by Walsh at first base.
Just like Mooney. He is in center field today, but the last time we saw Carrick and the rest of the Red Sox, he was playing in the infield.
And just to cap it off, he's got the high socks and the eye black as well. So if you're really looking for similarities between those two, you don't have to look very hard.
So 2-0 is the count on Carrick. Comes up with runners at the corners. It's Mydroth over at third, along at first. Corbett kicks and fires.
Check by Josh Roberge for 4 innings, but now the second inning of work by Corbett has not gone nearly as well as the first. And time for the Dores to get back to their white-knuckle ways that they experienced through late June and early July when they had so much trouble scoring. Every pitch, every change, every decision matters just that much more.
So it's now Josh Stewart that will come in.
And just a couple of days in, we've already started to bond over different things. The Celtics, hanging out with one another, and even the Red Sox as well. There's just so many different things that make this intern group seem like a really good one.
Not just being around players that are our age, but being around a bunch of other people that are looking to get something great out of the Commodores. But the favorite part about being like the intern specifically is the ability to like have some creative freedom, because we're not under salary or anything like that. We're here to have fun, but also get work done. There's the perfect level of, or balance of work and fun, but we don't get carried away with it. And I think that's the perfect part about being an intern. And the best part about being an intern, especially at the Commodores, is you get to watch baseball for us broadcasters 6 days a week.
Looking forward to the most with the Commodores is just the chance to work with some really talented people, whether that be on the broadcast team or any other interns. I'm a part of the broadcast team, so I get to work with Trey and Logan, and I think that both of them are just super talented. I'm really happy I get to work with both of them because I feel like I'll learn as much from them as they will from me, and I'm just really excited to be able to improve my craft with two guys who are focused on the exact same thing.
Part about being a Commodore intern is that I get to work on not only my videography skills, but also meet and work with other people that are really dedicated to this field of work.
I think just having the opportunity to work with a lot of people that are interested in the sports media business, especially when it comes to baseball. This is the premier league for collegiate players, and I think that getting the opportunity to work with a lot of people from across the country to have this one bond and the love is for baseball and helping these players develop, I think it's going to be something really cool, and it's going to be an amazing experience.
So we're back into the swing of things here at Guv Fuller Field. Commodores trailing the Red Sox by a score of 3-0. New pitcher is Josh Stewart, right-hander who spent last season at Texas and will be making the move down to College Station to play for Texas A&M. First man he's facing is Mike Bovee with 2 on and 1 gone.
264 average, another guy who can really swing on this team, but Stewart coming in for his first appearance since July 2nd when he worked a scoreless inning at Bourne in the game that kicked off what is right now a 3-game winning streak for the Dores, but could be in peril here if they can't mount a comeback.
Here's Paz Pereiras, the Western Carolina Catamount. First pitch in the dirt, blocked by Cromwell, 1-0. So Corbett's line is not a off speed, fouled back, 1-1. Ferreira's had a great season at Western Carolina this year. He had 15 home runs and 60 RBIs. One of the best players in the Southern Conference this year. And why not do it at a beautiful place, too? Cullowhee is stunning.
Would you rather be able to fly or be invisible?
I'm going to go with fly, honestly. I think flying would be pretty cool. Be able to be up in the air around everybody, fly with some birds. Be pretty cool stuff, Carson.
Okay, Anders, now do your best and favorite dance move.
And the Rockets Common is a rally animal. In 2021, Eldridge Park had a goose on the field, and there was about a
The Commodores need the rally rabbit right now, trailing 3-0 to the Red Sox. With Carter Bainbridge, I'm Trey Redfield. Logan was not telling us that hit before the game, and now I know why. That was a good one. That was a good one. Boy, happy 20th, Alex. Glad you're here. Glad you're dominating at shortstop this season. Hits one over to shortstop as we speak. Haas has it, throws it to first in time for the first out.
Well, this outing officially now tied for the longest of the summer for Yost. 5 1/3 against Orleans on June 22nd. His other 2 starts were
It's a halter, man. And he painted that, too. We've been talking a lot about how they moved into the zone. That one started in the middle of the right-handed batter's box and then found somehow in some way the outer half of the plate. Does it again, and Halter sorted it. Now 0-2.
Well, you can practically hear that breaking ball spin all the way up here in the press box with a hiss as it leaves the hand. Just about, but good location and good break today on those secondary pitches have spelled why Yost has gone so far in this game. He's not just been lucky, he's been very, very effective tonight.
0-2 hits to the left side, look side. Always a funny guy. Always a funny guy is Carson Depp, and hopefully everyone's all right down there. I don't know if someone got hit.
I think they just checked and might have gotten a word of affirmation. Might have gone a little bit too close to some heads over in that Y-D dugout as well.
That may have bounced off someone's head, but I think there's a kid wearing a helmet down there. So hopefully, whoever it was, if hit or not, they're okay down there. But because that's always scary. Never hope that on anybody. 0-2 pitch, misses low, ball 1.
That's halted Falmouth momentum is that they're just a good team this summer. They came into today first in the Eastern Division, second in runs scored, second in runs allowed. So even though they're on a 3-game winless skid, this is a very balanced team with very good pitching, and that's been a problem for the Dores when they've run up against it offensively.
First pitch to Peyton Stovall. He was applied the shift, and he beat it. Going right to where Haas was supposed to be at shortstop for a normal depth. But Stovall keeps the inning alive after I thought it was over. On it. First pitch to Jacob Walsh. This is low for ball 1. Because we've seen other teams bunt for a base hit that roll down the line and just sticks there. But not the Commodores.
Stovall has now gotten on base at least once in every game he's played so far. This is number 4 with the Dores this summer.
1-0 misses low. Good block by Gonzalez. Now 2-0. That just tells you the impact that the Razorbacks are bringing. Chase Borvin and Peyton Stovall. Stovall in particular was dominant in the College World Series. Went 5 for 6 one game against Auburn. Last time I checked, that's really good. Walsh trying to lead his Oregon Ducks there next year. As the 2-0 comes in. Bouncer right side, near us. To the left of the dugout, foul. Now 2-1. Walsh got hit by a pitch while showing bunt in the 4th inning. Flew out to left field in the 1st. Two one. This is inside, 3-1 now. Yost trying to close out his 6th inning of work. Getting some words of support from the third base dugout. He's given up 4 hits, throwing shutout ball right now. 3-1. Hit to the left side. Over at short, where Ferreras was, and Walsh hits into the shift. So now the 6th inning is closed, but the Commodores still cannot crack the goose egg. We go into the top of the 7th, 3-0 your score, Dores trailing.
Your favorite song?
My favorite song. Proud to be an American. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free.
And what's your favorite breakfast food?
Oh, my favorite on the West Coast. I don't know if it's a thing back east, but Spam.
Wheels or Dores?
I think wheels, honestly, because you use wheels like more than I feel like you would use Dores, because if you're moving things around, more than likely it's on a wheel.
Well, here at Guv Fuller Field, things are getting late for the Commodores, who trail the Yarmouth-Dennis Red Sox 3-0 as we head into the top of the 7th inning. Story of the day for the Dores has been hitting the ball on the ground. It's what Jacob Walsh just did to end the bottom of the 6th with a runner at first. Falmouth has also hit into 3 double plays today, as this game has been played at a sprinter's pace so far. An hour and 38 minutes elapsed into this one, and we're on to the final 3 frames. Carter Bainbridge along with Trey Redfield, and our field reporter Logan Soforenko with you today. As the Dores send Josh Stewart back to the mound for his 2nd inning of work. He got 2 straight outs to end the top of the 6th after right-hander Caleb Corbett put a pair on and then departed the game after an RBI single by Cole Carrig. Bovee and Ferreras were retired, and now Homer Bush, the right fielder, number 8 in the lineup, hits against the righty Stewart. First offering to Bush. Breaking ball up and in, nearly clipped him, and it's 1-0. Stewart out of the University of Texas, where he pitched this past spring with the Longhorns. Fires a strike on the outer half, 1-1. 10 games, 1 start for Stewart with the Longhorns, 4.63 ERA and only 11 2/3 innings. 1-1, breaking ball down low and away, and it's 2-1. Bush at the plate, 0 for 2 so far in this game with 2 strikeouts. 2-1 pitch is a little bit off the plate, Trey, and we've seen that call not go for a strike a lot today, but for both sides by home plate umpire Mickey Garcia.
Yeah, that's just zone right there. That's nothing, you know, where managers think, oh, you're calling it against me. That's just fair play.
Caught on and missed on the 3-1 by Bush, who might have just swung at ball 4, and the count goes full. And these pitchers have tried to expand the zone today, but only a couple walks in this game. Only 1 Red Sox has walked as Bush takes strike 3. So no free pass here for the Y-D right fielder. He sits a strikeout victim for the 3rd time in as many at-bats for Bush. And Fernando Gonzalez now comes to the plate. He's 0 for 2 today. One away, top of the 7th. Stewart dealing with the Y-D catcher. Fastball on the outer half, and it's 0-1. And just to complete that point about the walks, the Dores have only taken 2 today. So these pitchers have not been giving out a lot of free bases. 0-1. Breaking ball and a good one. Spins in for strike 2. 0-2 the count on Gonzalez.
Wait, only 2 walks have been applied by Commodores pitchers today?
That's right.
Really? Roberge with 1. Corbett had 1?
0-2. On the outer half, and it's 1-2. Well, now you have me looking, and by my count, it's 1.
Yeah, it's 1.
Only 1 to Haas back in the first.
Yeah. I was like, wait. Only 2, and I was like, wait, I think it may just be 1.
1 for each side. 1-2, swung on and missed. Out number 2, Gonzalez down swinging. Second straight K for Stewart. And there's 2 away in the top of the 7th with the bases empty. I appreciate you breaking out the abacus there for me.
Abacus, what does abacus mean?
It's the math tool where you slide the beads across the...
Oh, that's an abacus?
Yeah.
Oh, I've never used one of those.
That's what they used before the calculator app.
See, that's the thing. What does an abacus like do? Does it have like things? And I've never used one before. Have you used one before?
I can't say I have. I can't say I would know what to do.
I would certainly not know what to do.
Caden Connor takes outside for ball 1 here in the top of the 7th inning. 3-0. Y-D leads Falmouth. And the Dores struggling on offense once again after it looked like they had really broken out the last 3 games, but Y-D pitching has silenced them tonight. 1-0 down low to Connor, who's 1 for 3 today. He singled his last time up in the 6th and later scored the 2nd Red Sox run of the day. Lefty bat against the right-hander Stewart. And the 2-0 delivery. On the outer half, a little bit elevated, and it's 2-1. Stewart, a fastball slider changeup pitcher, originally from Georgetown, Texas. Staying close to home, first with UT and now A&M. 2-1 is grounded through the hole on the left side, base hit. So Caden Connor is on with his 2nd hit of the day. He breaks up the consecutive batters retired streak by Stewart as that caps out at 4. And now Hunter Haas comes to the plate with a runner at first and 2 down here in the top of the 7th. So Haas at the plate, 0 for 2 with a walk to his credit this evening. One of the better contact hitters in the Cape League. Entered the day hitting .321. Down low, takes a bounce off the opposite batter's box, and it's 1-0, gloved by Cromwick. But that .321 average carried by Haas into this game was good enough to lead Y-D entering the day. He and Carrig, the only .300 hitters on this team. 1-0 pitch down and away, and it's 2-0. Of course, at higher levels of baseball, you start to pay a little less attention to stats like batting average and a win-loss record for a pitcher. But here in summer ball, they count just as much as anything else.
Yeah.
Usually you can tell if a hitter's going well or poorly since they came over from college based on the average. 2-0 is in for a strike, and it's 2-1 on Haas. Walk, strikeout, ground out to short is how the day has gone for the Y-D shortstop so far. And this is a day, Trey, where I really do wish we had that center field camera because these pitchers have been dealing. Runner goes, foul to the right side by Haas on a late defensive swing into the seats on those metal bleachers, and it's 2-2.
Metal bleachers that used to be there for Falmouth High School football. You know, the field was dedicated back on June 30th. Arnie Allen Diamond at Guv Fuller Field. To the men and women that donated $1,030,000 for the Guv to look as beautiful as it does right now.
Those renovations have made a huge difference as here comes the 2-2. Connor goes for second. The pitch taken for a ball and the throw. Got him! Connor cut down trying to steal second, and that ends the top of the 7th inning. Haas will be back up to the plate when Y-D comes back, but the Red Sox don't score after a base hit. And the Commodores now bring up Cromwell, Collins, and Pinckney, 5, 6, and 7 in their order, trying to mount a comeback here at Guv Fuller Field when we return.
Hottest take is that a straw has 2 holes, not 1.
What is your favorite place in Falmouth?
My favorite place in Falmouth right now, I would say, is Shoreway Acres Inn. A bunch of us, the interns, are staying there, and like we're having such a great time getting to know each other.
Can you give me your best British accent?
Scott Sterling.
Is cereal a soup?
No, it's cereal. It's its own thing, right? What soup have you had with milk in it?
My favorites. Proud to be an American.
And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free.
And what's your favorite breakfast food?
Oh, my favorite on the West Coast. I don't know if it's a thing back east, but spam.
Wheels or doors?
I think wheels, honestly, because you use wheels like more than I feel like you would use doors, because if you're moving things around, more than likely it's on a wheel.
Well, the Dores only have so many chances left in this game as we head to the bottom of the 7th inning between the Yarmouth-Dennis Red Sox and Falmouth Commodores here at Guv Fuller Field. Carter Bainbridge along with Trey Redfield and our field reporter Logan Soforenko on today's broadcast. And we've watched the Y-D Red Sox get back to their old ways tonight with solid play across the board. Eric Yost is still on the mound for inning number 7. So, Trey, this is about as long as a start as we've seen any Cape pitcher go so far this summer. And Yost forging ahead in uncharted territory. This is now his longest start of the summer by a lot. His previous longest was 5 1/3. But you imagine the leash from manager Scott Pickler over there for Y-D is growing tighter by the batter. Josiah Cromwell leads things off here for Falmouth in the bottom of the 7th inning. Catching and hitting 5th today, he's 0 for 2. Breaking ball is skied to left center field. Connor and Carrick both over for it, but it's playable. And it's Connor making the catch for out number 1. The fly ball that looked pretty good off the bat for Cromwell instead dies well short of the fence and into the glove of Connor out in left. Corey Collins, the Falmouth DH, a number 6 hitter today, now comes to the plate. He's 0 for 1 with a walk. But it was that base on balls in the second that helped set up the first of 3 double plays the Dores have hit into so far. That breaking ball has been sharp, a lot of movement, a lot of depth, and he has spotted it for strikes. Flied foul to left over the Y-D dugout, and it's 1-2. So the Dores so far have used 3 pitchers. Josh Roberge in his summer debut went 4 innings of 1-run ball. Caleb Corbett pitched an inning and a third, and Josh Stewart just finished up his 2nd inning of relief. But for Y-D, it's been Yost and Yost alone. 1-2 down and into the left-handed hitting Collins. And 2-2 the count.
Not often do you see pitchers go all the way through. with an entire performance. You know, you don't see many complete games put on, but
RBI appearance is 1 for 2 today, but he hits with the bases empty here in the 7th. Yost fires a strike, and it's 0-1. Was gloved down a little bit towards the hip in frustration that he couldn't get Pinckney swinging to end this inning. So this right-hander on the mound for Y-D is dialed in. Pinckney now ready, and the 1-2. Same spot, and again, Pinckney wouldn't fish for it. It's 2-2.
yeah, Pinckney's smarter than that. You know, there may have been a time a couple of weeks ago that he would have gone after it, but that's just a little too much away from the plate, and Yost is losing control with it. You know, you got to go somewhere else, I think, if you're Eric Yost.
2-2 came up and in and got him right on the front shoulder. Now Pinckney flicks the bat away towards the Falmouth dugout, but he's hit by a pitch with 2 down here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Second time today that a Dore has been hit by a pitch. Jacob Walsh did it back in the
percent. You want to wish for the best with these Commodores because not only are they baseball players, but these are really good guys.
So Yost looked like he was ready to fire the first pitch to Drew Brutcher, but now there's a conference on the mound between the whole Y-D infield and Pinckney over at first base. So it looks like the day is done for Yost with Scott Pickler out there. Now they let Yost basically get set with his pitch before coming out of the dugout to make a switch, but that's what's coming here. 6 2/3 innings of work so far for Yost, and we'll see if a Y-D reliever can make it 6 2/3 innings of shutout ball tonight. And we'll get you the name and the info.
To get to know everyone, do some fun social media stuff, make a lot of TikToks, and watch some baseball.
I'm looking forward to spending time with all of the other great interns, looking forward to watching good baseball, spending time around the field, and being in Falmouth again.
It was just such a great experience last year. I mean, there's nothing better. I mean, it's the best players in the country, and the opportunity to cover them is awesome.
Well, we're back here in the bottom of the 7th inning between the Falmouth Commodores and Yarmouth Dennis Red Sox. 2 outs and a runner on first base. Andrew Pinckney stands there after a hit by a pitch that spelled the end of the day for Y-D starter Eric Yost, who went 6 2/3 innings in this game, about as long a start as you'll ever see in the Cape League, and he was dominant. 4 hits, no runs so far, 2 walks, only 2 strikeouts, with one of them coming in this frame. But with Pinckney over at first base, the new pitcher into the game for the Red Sox is right-hander Baden Root, native of Westfield, Indiana, who just pitched his sophomore spring at Oklahoma State, relieved 21 games for the Cowboys to a 7.96 ERA. So Pinckney with good speed over at first base, a guy who could score pretty easily on an extra base hit, but you figure won't be going here. The Dores need base runners. They don't need to be aggressive, trailing by a score of 3-0. So here's Drew Brutcher, who had worked himself all the way into the box before Yost was pulled from the game. It looked for a moment like they were going to leave the right-hander in, but then manager Scott Pickler for Y-D thought better of it to make a change. And a dramatic shift here for Brutcher, again playing the left-handed batter to pull, with a man in the outfield grass between first and second. Down and in to Brutcher, and it's 1-0. So Ferreras, the third baseman, all alone over there on the left side, about halfway between second and third. Haas the closest to the bag on the right side. Runner goes. Pinckney heads for second. It's a called strike and no throw by Gonzalez, who never even popped to his feet. But a stolen base for Pinckney, who had one 2 days ago in Katuitt when he was hit by a pitch. So deja vu here at the Guv. The Dores had already gotten a lot more going offensively in that game than they have tonight. They went on to beat the Cats 10-7. But the Dores trail here 3-0 at home. 1-1 to Brutcher. Pinckney goes for third, again down and in. Gonzalez's throw is way high and into left field, and Pinckney's going to score. That breaks the shutout on the errant throw by Fernando Gonzalez behind the plate for Y-D. No chance for Ferreras at third to come down with that throw. And Brutcher now comes back to the plate with a 2-1 count. And Pinckney in with the first Falmouth run of the day.
Yeah, so a couple of stolen bases, and he comes home on the E2 with the official scoring. But however you can take it, take it. Because, I mean, that's the second time in 2 games now where Pinckney has taken a couple of bases. I mean, obviously it wasn't a steal on the way home, but we saw this the other day on the 4th against Katuitt. Just smart base running by Pinckney, realizing where the ball is and taking advantage. Trying to help out his team however he can.
Well, against the Cats, Pinckney scored from second on a wild pitch that took the catcher forever to pick up, as Brutcher grounds this one softly fouled on the third base side. But with a shift like this on, you put one on the ground over there, and you immediately have to be careful and start watching carefully.
Yeah.
If that ball had stayed fair, Brutcher might be at second base by now.
Yeah, why not bunt?
They're giving him an absolute cavern over there on the left side. Wide open space. 3-2 the count now on Brutcher. 2 down, bases empty. Fouled off the plate. Well, with the way Ferreras is playing him rather, from third, you might want to upgrade the amount of space that Brutcher has over there from a cavern to maybe a canyon.
Yeah.
And that's one of the wider shifts that you'll see in this league.
What's bigger than a canyon?
Outer space?
Yeah, it looks like outer space out there.
Count still full on Brutcher. And the pitch. Oh, a little bit low, says home plate umpire Mickey Garcia. And Brutcher takes first. Root had a little grin on his face as he received switch hitter at the plate right now, batting left-handed against the righty Root. First pitch. Softly grounded to second base. Mydroth picks it up, and the throw in time to complete the putout. So that ends things in the Falmouth half of the 7th, but the Dores do get on the board, courtesy of Andrew Pinckney's hustle around the bases. It's 3-1 as we head to the top of the 8th here at Guv Fuller Field, and we'll be back in just a moment.
Welcome back to Guv Fuller Field, where the Falmouth Commodores trail the Y-D Red Sox 3-1. Tomorrow, the Falmouth Commodores travel to Eldridge Park for the very first time of the 2022 season to square off against the Orleans Firebirds. And something that Eldridge Park and Guv Fuller Field have in common is the ability to have a rally animal. At Eldridge Park in 2021, there was a goose that was on the field, and you know how long it took to get it removed? About 3 minutes. The bird mascot named Birdman Bob had to pick up the goose and take it off of the field. So rally rabbits, rally geese, there's a lot of fun on Cape Cod, and these guys were having a lot of fun in the dugout when the rally rabbit last made an appearance against the Brewster Whitecaps. Dores and Orleans Firebirds tomorrow at 6 p.m. at Eldridge Park. Guys, back to you.
Well, rabbits and geese and firebirds, oh my. The Dores are trying to climb up the standings in the West, so they'll take their talents out to Orleans fairly soon to try to do that. But right now, the task in front of them is coming back in against the Y-D Red Sox, who lead that Eastern Division and lead things here by a score of 3-1 at Guv Fuller Field. Right-hander Josh Stewart still on the mound for inning number 3. He got out of a jam in the 6th and got through the 7th after 2 strikeouts, a 2-out single by Caden Connor, who was then thrown out trying to steal second. So Hunter Haas, who was at the plate when that happened, is now back up to lead off the top of the 8th. So the Dores have played plenty of offenses this season that run like the wind, but otherwise struggle to do some other things. The Kettleers are good at just about every category you want to look at, but Bourne a team that runs a lot but is middle of the pack in just about everything else. First pitch to Haas is fouled away right side. But when you take a look at Y-D, they're basically the other way around. Second in the league in runs scored, second in walks. They don't strike out a lot, but fifth in stolen bases. So they can run, but they don't do it as their primary weapon. Grounded to short, Mooney, after a couple hops, collects, pulls Walsh off the bag, and Haas is safe as he went tumbling into the bag. So another error on Mooney, his second today, gives Haas first base on the E6.
That Walsh was going to make that tag there, but that was a great job by Hunter Haas avoiding it. Got his hand in there as well to ensure that he was safe, and luckily enough at first base, you know, when you run past it, you know, it just give you that luxury.
So Haas stands at first base. The error by Mooney, who has had to make some tough throws in this game. First pitch to Mydroth is popped up to right. Brutcher in a few steps. Makes the catch. And that's out number one here in the top of the eighth.
Now batting the designated hitter from Cal State Long Beach, number 24, Johnny Long.
And Johnny Long, the batter now. Or rather, he would be if Drew Bowser wasn't at the plate right now as a pinch hitter.
From Stanford, number 8, Drew Bowser.
So this guy, a serious player for Y-D, making his first appearance of the day. Coming in for Long, who finishes his day 1 for 3, 2 Ks and an infield single. Haas at first base, Bowser at the plate, who cuts and misses at a fastball about head high, and it's 0-1. Bowser, a guy they feel pretty good about over at Y-D, even though he's off to a 2 for 13 start at the plate. This is a guy highly, highly rated in the 2023 MLB draft. 0-1. In for a strike, and it's quickly 0-2.
You want to know something about Drew Bowser, excuse me?
Shoot.
Harvard Westlake is where he went to high school. Max Fried, Jack Flaherty, and Lucas Giolito all went to the same high school at the same time.
Not too bad. 0-2 pitch off the outside corner, and it's 1-2. Well,
not too bad pitch there.
Yeah, not a lot of give on that outside corner tonight, but it has been very consistent for both sides. Well, Bowser, after his time at high school with all those pros, ended up now at Stanford. With the Cardinal this spring, 62 starts, a 293 hitter. Swing and a miss this time. And that's the second out here in the top of the eighth inning. So Bowser down on strikes, and there's 2 away with Haas at first for Cole Carrig. Carrig today 2 for 3. Would have been a typical game for one of the Cape League's leading hitters, at least average-wise. Guy with 8 driven in to his credit, a pair of doubles. Entered the day 11 for 12 in stolen bases. So this is a hard guy to get out and a hard guy to stop on the base paths when he gets on. Stewart looking in. First pitch to Carrig. Skips in front of the plate. Cromwell had to bluff the throw as Haas ventured off the first base bag, but now he's back.
He bluffed it and then some. He lost his helmet and his mask in that process. That's what you got to do if you're pulling a fake steal there. You know, make the catcher think. Fake and delay steals, you always got to make the catcher a little bit flustered.
So Carrig again batting from the left side as a switch hitter, as he's done in all 4 plate appearances tonight. Dores have thrown 3 right-handers so far, including Stewart on the mound right now. Carrig shows bunt, and the pitch tails low. It's 2-0. Carrig this spring at San Diego State, first-team All-Mountain West talent. Led his team in average, hits, doubles, runs driven in. All 3 slash line categories. Swing and a miss this time, and it's 2-1. Stewart back on the mound. This is 3rd inning of work, trying to work around a leadoff error. Haas reached on an E6 by Alex Mooney. The throw that pulled Jacob Walsh over at first base off the bag down the line. Cut on and missed for strike two, 2-2. Stewart trying to retire Carrig for the first time since the second inning when he struck out his first time up. He's since doubled to drive in a run and singled to drive in another back in the sixth. 2-2, runner goes, swing and a miss, so it doesn't matter. Carrig down a strikeout victim. Number 4 for Stewart in this game, who has finished off his third solid inning of relief. We head on to the bottom of the 8th with the Dores down a pair here at Guv Fuller Field.
Commodore fans, thanks for joining us and cheering on your Falmouth Commodores. Want to take a break from the action? Come make a visit to the merchandise booth. Check us out behind home plate. We have a bunch of new designs for you to purchase, from hats to shirts, jerseys, crew necks, wine glasses, and even baby bibs. You think of it, we probably have it. From youth sizes to even adult double XLs. We have everything you need for family and friends. Be sure to come say hello and get a piece of Falmouth merch. Make a trip before we close up shop in the 9th inning. See you soon, and roll Dores.
Well, the Dores are coming back around to the plate, trailing 3-1 against the Yarmouth-Dennis Red Sox here at Guv Fuller Field. Carter Bainbridge along with Trey Redfield and our field reporter Logan Soforenko with you on the broadcast tonight. As Falmouth is trying to mount a comeback here. They were once down 3-0, but chipped into it in the 7th with a run. And now the top of the order back at the plate, starting with Alex Mooney, who is 0 for 3 today. Has a pair of errors to his credit, so a tough day for Alex at the yard so far. Baden Ruth, the right-hander on the mound for Y-D. Breaking ball bends in on the inside corner for strike one, 0-1. The Root on for inning number 2. He came in to relieve starter Eric Yost with 2 down in the bottom of the 7th. Walked Brutcher and then got McKenzie to ground out. Base hit up the middle for Mooney. Carrig gets it in center on a couple rolls, but Mooney on base for the first time today, and it's a leadoff hit here in the bottom of the 8th.
Good piece of contact there from Mooney. You know, he's had a couple of errors today. A little bit of a struggle so far, but you know what? The birthday boy has himself a base hit. And whatever you can do to help out your team to win, it puts you in a really good spot. And knowing you're in a good spot right now, at least I would argue, I mean, you have Colby Halter coming up to the plate. A guy who can get into one if he puts bat to ball. He's a guy that can get on base and brings great impact to the game. You know, we were talking to Alex Mooney today about pregame routines, and told us he doesn't really have much, but one that he does do is he fist bumps Colby before every game, before they're about to go up to bat, and they say, let's do this. So let's find out if they can do this.
If you look for a reason why the Dores have been stymied on offense today, that it's to the tune of 1 run, it's that Mooney and Halter hitting 1-2 in the lineup. Entering this inning, we're a combined 0 for 6. Mooney had hit into a double play in the 3rd. Halter also 0 for 3. So this duo at the top of the order that usually makes a lot happen, pretty quiet up until now. But Mooney on base with a hit to lead off the 8th inning, and a new pitcher coming in for Y-D. But we're going to keep it here because Colby Halter is coming up to the plate with nobody down and Mooney at first base. And Halter represents the tying run in this game. So as far out of reach as this one once felt, with the Dores down 3-0 against starter Eric Yost, who went 6 2/3 strong innings. One swing of the bat can change things here for the Dores. And they have a guy coming to the plate in Halter who hit a 2-run home run just 2 days ago against Katuitt. Has found his stroke in a day where he reached base 3 times. That 4th of July matchup out at Lowell Park. So you see the new pitcher coming into the game now for Y-D.
Oh my.
It's Connor Thurman. And he's got a live arm.
It's one of his warm-up pitches. He did the crow. He entirely missed the glove. That was the loudest bink or bonk off the bricks I've heard all season. Oh, my gosh.
Thurman, the right-hander out of Mesa, Arizona. Just finished up his redshirt sophomore year at the University of San Diego. And what we just saw Thurman do there was just rear back and throw the ball as hard as he could. He came well off the mound, so that's not a practice pitch in the traditional sense, but some guys do that. They like to come out and just throw one as hard as they can to get the juice out. Thurman this spring in 12 games with the Toreros, a 4.29 ERA in 21 innings, 17 hits, 10 earned runs, but the walk-to-strikeout ratio really impresses you with this right-hander. 6 free passes to 42 punch-outs. Only 2 home runs allowed as well. Fastball slider mix for Thurman. Fastball high 80s, slider mid 80s. So looking to shut down the Dores here in the bottom of the 8th with Mooney at first base, who just got on via a leadoff single. Colby Halter coming to the plate. Peyton Stovall on deck. So 3 straight lefty bats coming up for the Dores against right-hander Connor Thurman.
Starts off with a favorable matchup, too. Righty on lefty. You know, Halter's got to take advantage here. Let's see if Mooney takes advantage on the base pass. We saw Andrew Pinckney do it. It grabbed Falmouth's first run. Question is, will Falmouth do it to grab its second?
So Mooney at first base, a guy who can steal. Shifting Halter, the first pitch to him is outside and low to the left-handed batter. It's 1-0. Again, you see the lefty pull shift. Bydroth at second base, playing deep in the hole. Haas, the shortstop, playing virtually behind the second base bag, with Ferreras at third, manning the left side alone. 1-0. Gets the outer half, and it's 1-1.
I'm just so fascinated with the fact that we are in the bottom of the 8th inning. I looked up at the monitor just to make sure, looked at my watch, did it 3 times. It's 8:15. 2 hours and 15 minutes of game time. We are in the bottom of the 8th inning.
We've seen a lot of quick at-bats and a lot of good pitching in this game. 1-1 is fouled off the plate by Halter, and it's 1-2. So Josh Roberge, the starter for Falmouth, went 4 innings of 1-run ball. Caleb Corbett came in, an inning and a third, gave up 2 runs, 1 earned. But the story for Y-D today, right-handed starter Eric Yost, who went 6 2/3, 4 hits, 1 unearned run, 2 walks and 2 strikeouts. The Dores put it in play a lot off of him, but just didn't have a lot of success. 1-2 to Halter. Mooney goes for second, and the pitch spoiled foul left side. So Mooney 5 for 6 on steals this summer. Sent on that pitch, but Halter stayed alive at the plate. So far in this game, Y-D 3 runs on 7 hits and an error. The Dores 1 run on 5 hits and 3 errors, not helping their league ranking in defense. Falmouth came into this day with the most errors in the league. 1-2 delivery to Halter. Grounded foul right side, and the count stays 1-2. Mooney didn't go that time. But it's choke-up time for Halter at the plate, and we see do that a lot.
Choking crowd. That's what he does. You see him choke up as the strikes go along. 1 strike, moving up a little bit. 2 strikes, put it up as high as the Empire State Building.
And surprisingly, he's a guy who doesn't get hit all that much, even though he does come up a little bit further on the plate, even in his usual stance without 2 strikes. 1-2. Mooney goes. The pitch down low by Gonzalez. Has it skip away from him, loses it at the plate, and Mooney's safe. Easily without a throw. So Mooney stands at second with nobody down now. 2-2 the count on Halter. Unlucky bounce for Fernando Gonzalez behind the plate, who has had a tough day defensively. His error in the 7th inning allowed Pinckney to score from second base. On an attempted steal of third, Gonzalez's throw went into left field over the head of Ferreras at third for Y-D. And now speaking of Gonzalez, he's going to talk things over on the mound with Thurman.
You put this ball in play, you not only score a run, well, at least into the outfield. You put this ball into the outfield, you know, in a spot that's workable. Mooney will score. Not only you do that, you put yourself on base. And not only you do that, you bring up a reliable guy in Peyton Stovall on deck. There are a lot of luxuries that you can do here if you're Colby Halter.
And he likely knows it. The Dores with the top of the order around, trying to mount something here in the bottom of the 8th, down by a pair. As Thurman looks back, Mooney at second base. Alex has got good speed out there. Guy with good quickness, could definitely come around from second on a base hit, depending on how deep it is. Thurman looking him back, 2-2. Got Halter. Huge strikeout for Y-D. First out here in the bottom of the 8th, and Mooney doesn't move from second.
Now batting, the second baseman from Arkansas, number 10, Peyton Stovall.
But Trey, as you said, this inning not over yet. Peyton Stovall now at the plate, another lefty bat. A guy who has been swinging it well since he came over from Arkansas. 1 for 2 today with a walk. Has yet to be kept off base in a game since coming over from Fayetteville. First offering to him is a breaking ball down low, and it's 1-0. And again, wide open space on the left side for these left-handed hitters. Mydroth in the hole at second. Haas covering the bag up the middle. Ferreras over at third, but a little closer to the bag than we've seen him a couple times today. Mooney goes for third, the 1-0. Gonzalez doesn't throw. And Mooney in with another stolen base. He's now 7 for 8 on the summer, including his 2 today.
That's the second time Gonzalez hasn't thrown. I mean, I respect it if that's planned, because you don't want to, one throw can make this a one-run game. That goes over the head over at third, then you're toast.
1-1 pitch, good frame this time by Gonzalez. A pitch on the outer half to the chagrin of Stovall, and it's 1-2. And you have to wonder if there was a conversation down there in the Y-D dugout after the Pinckney throw that went into left field.
Right,
Possible that happened. They said, hey, just pay attention to framing and catching the baseball. Don't worry about the runners. Because Falmouth has not torn the cover off the ball today. Only 5 hits, 1 run. 1-2, they pitch out. Mooney is caught off third, but he gets back to the bag.
Wow.
Oh, he ventured off the bag into no man's land, and Gonzalez was ready. Ferreras was over to cover, but Mooney just swam around the potential tag.
Kind of helps when you have that hand guard over there, too. Not only does it protect your hand, but gives you a couple of inches. This game is a game of inches. Mooney's got to be careful over there. I know a ball can get away. He can come in and score, knowing he's 90 feet away from home plate. But you also got to be careful.
2 strike count on Stovall, who also has to be careful. 2-2. Just got a piece of it and fouled it away back of the plate, 2-2. Had to lunge down to get that offering from Thurman, who has seen the runner he inherited steal second and then third. Alex Mooney stands 90 feet away now with 1 away, bottom of the 8th. And Peyton Stovall, the tying run at the plate, a guy who already has a home run to his credit this summer. Hit one just 4 days ago out in Bourne. 2-2. Mooney again takes a solid lead off third, but the pitch dropped by Gonzalez, and the count goes full on Stovall. Y-D trying to cling to this lead that was once 3-0, but the Dores fighting back. Put up 1 in the 7th, now have a runner at third with 1 down here in the 8th. Thurman with the payoff pitch. Fouled off left side. Ferreras from third giving it a jog, but it's out of play. Now the count stays full on Stovall, who has put up a good at bat here in the bottom of the 8th. He's seen plenty of pitches. He's fouled a couple away. Not going down without a battle, as he desperately just tries to put one in play here. Any soft ground ball to the left side is going to score a run, and Stovall could very well get to first base safely if he does it. 3-2. Softly hit to the middle of the diamond. Haas over to get the ball. The throw on the run just does barely beat Stovall, but Mooney comes in to score on the 6-3 ground out officially, but a good play by Haas to range over to his right to save that from being a base hit for Stovall into the shift.
Couldn't have said it better. Take that any day of the week. You know, you got to run in. So what? But also, you bring up another guy who's one of the best hitters so far for the Commodores. Question is, will it be a lefty that comes out of the bullpen if there is someone that comes out of the bullpen? Because if it is a lefty, Carter, it's tough for Jacob Walsh. He's a guy who has struggled against left-handed hitters this season.
Well, you figure if Y-D has a left-hander down in that bullpen, we could very well see him. The Dores have had their problems against left-handed pitchers this year. Jacob Walsh, a guy who's been swinging better lately, but again, not against those lefties. So this meeting of the minds out on the pitching rubber means another pitching change as Thurman departs after just 2 batters. He struck out Halter, got Stovall to ground out, but it's 3-2 now as a run scored on that 6-3 bouncer off the bat of Stovall. So we'll see who's jogging into this game from the Y-D bullpen here at Guv Fuller Field. In a 3-2 game, the Red Sox lead the Dores, but Falmouth is making things interesting, so stay tuned. You won't want to miss the ending of this one. We'll be back in just a moment.
House of Falmouth Commodore, be sure to sign up to become a host family today. Hosting a Cape League player can be very rewarding. Players connect and bond with the families, often forming lifelong relationships. Please remember that every Commodores player is bound and governed by NCAA rules and regulations. In order to maintain their collegiate athletic ability, host families receive a weekly allowance from the Falmouth Commodores to help cover player expenses. Host families are not required to provide transportation to players. The Falmouth Commodores are very grateful to the wonderful families that host our players each and every year. If you are interested in hosting a Falmouth Commodores player for the summer, contact our housing coordinator, Lisa Smuda, at lisatz143@comcast.net. For more information, visit our website at falmouthcommodores.com. Thank you for supporting our players, and roll Dores.
Welcome back to Guv Fuller Field as we venture on into this bottom of the 8th inning with 2 down and the bases empty. Second pitcher used in this inning, or third rather, for Y-D. It was Root, then it was Thurman, and now it's Luke Jewett, right-hander, into the game to deal with at least Jacob Walsh in this inning. Left-handed hitting first baseman for Falmouth, who now comes to the plate representing the tying run.
Huge at bat here. You know, you have the advantage. We thought it was going to be lefty on lefty. Walsh, in his case, has a smile on his face because he has that going from him righty. And also, he's pretty familiar with this guy, Luke Jewett. These two faced off in Pac-12 play. Walsh, the Oregon Duck. Jewett, the UCLA Bruin. Let's find out if the Ducks are going to be quacking here.
And Trey, we talked about whether or not Y-D would want to bring in a left-hander because Walsh this season hitting .255 and slugging .511 with all 4 of his home runs against right-handers. He gets to face one here with 2 down. Jewett's first offering is a fastball on the outer half, and it's 0-1. So Jewett out of UCLA, fastball, slider, changeup pitcher, low to mid-90s fastball, slider, low 80s. Is 0-1. Took something off, and Walsh staggered himself with that swing. It's 0-2. This is the 4th appearance of the summer for Jewett. He carries in a 1.12 ERA in 8 innings. He has been nails for the Red Sox. 0-2 pitch is shoulder high, and Walsh didn't bite at it. 1-2. Eight innings, 5 hits, 6 strikeouts for Jewett with Y-D so far. 1-2. This time low. 2-2. So the advantage, at least from the camera view we've been using most of the night, is that you get to see a brilliant sunset out here at the Guv.
That's facts.
Pretty night here today. Swing and a miss by Walsh, though, and that ends the bottom of the 8th. First batter faced by Jewett, and his first K in the books ends a very long bottom of the 8th. It's still 3-2 Y-D as we carry on into the top of the 9th. Bovee, Ferreras, and Bush, 6, 7, and 8 for Yarmouth Dennis coming up when we come back.
Hey there, Commodore fans. Thanks for joining us and cheering on your Falmouth Commodores. Want to take a break from the action? Come make a visit to the merchandise booth. Check us out behind home plate. We have a bunch of new designs for you to purchase, from hats to shirts, jerseys, crew necks, wine glasses, and even baby bibs. You think of it, we probably have it. From youth sizes to even adult double XLs. We have everything you need for family and friends. Be sure to come say hello and get a piece of Falmouth merch. Make a trip before we close up shop in the 9th inning. See you soon, and roll Dores.
Welcome back to Guv Fuller Field here in the 9th inning as this game has flown right along between the Yarmouth Dennis Red Sox and Falmouth Commodores. But if you couldn't make it out to this game, take a look at what we've got coming up. The Dores are at Orleans tomorrow and what's going to be one of our longer road trips of the season. And they come back to the Guv on the 8th against Hyannis for Military Appreciation Night. Another road trip out to Brewster at Stony Brook Field, so pay attention to that 5 p.m. first pitch. And then a 3-game homestand. Wareham, Bourne, and Brewster rounds up what we've got on the docket for the Dores coming up over the next week or so. But for right now, top of the 9th inning, Levi Wells is the right-hander to handle things for the Dores. Fourth pitcher of the night used as Josh Stewart gives way after 2 2/3 innings of 1 hit, no run, no walk relief. He came on in the 6th to end a Y-D threat and pitched all the way through the 8th. Worked around a single, worked around an error in different frames, and looked in command against what is a very potent Y-D lineup. So Wells just the latest to face it, and he starts things here in the 9th inning with Mike Bovee, the first baseman, who's 0 for 3 today. The Dores have made this a 1-run game, a run in each of the last 2 frames. Pinckney scored a run on an error in the 7th, and Mooney scored on an RBI groundout from 3rd by Peyton Stovall in the 8th. Y-D once led 3-0 as Wells fires a strike to Bovee, and it's 0-1. Well, Trey, we've gotten to know this right-hander pretty well over the course of the summer. He's been a high leverage reliever for these Dores and done a good job. 0-1 pitch fouled back, and it's 0-2.
He's so much fun to talk to. He's actually really, really funny. And each and every time we talk to him, the conversations just get better. He always brings something to the table.
0-2 the count quickly on Bovee. Got him. Came upstairs with the fastball, and Bovee couldn't catch up to the high heat. Out number 1 here in the top of the 9th. And that's just good old country hardball from Wells.
Yeah, going with the high cheese. Basically telling the guy at the plate, Bovee says, let's see if you can hang around with this one. I've gotten you twice. Let's see if I can make it thrice. Oh, I just did.
This is the 6th appearance of the summer for Wells. 1 out, base is empty. Ferreras at the plate, and he can't catch up to that offering. 0-1 the count. So Wells, a 1.68 ERA coming into tonight. All but one of his appearances so far have been scoreless. 1 save over 10 2/3. Ferreras with an ugly swing, foul tipped into the mitt, of Cromwell, and we've seen a lot of swings like that from the guys who have had to face Levi.
Yep, a lot of swords coming from that. That's what they call half swings. Swinging like Howie and the Benchwarmers.
0-2. Got him. Second batter faced, second K. 2 outs here in the top of the 9th for Wells, and Homer Bush coming to the plate.
All right, so now 2 things are on the line going into this at-bat. There's a golden sombrero on the line with Homer Bush, 0 for 3. But we are 3 pitches away from an immaculate inning.
6 pitches, 6 strikes, 2 Ks so far for Wells, who gets his breath. First offering, swing and a miss, and there's strike number 7. Bush today 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts. Defense normal depth for Falmouth. Down low for ball 1.
Oh, man.
There goes your immaculate inning, Trey.
No, not just my immaculate inning. It's Levi's immaculate inning. We almost saw one at Benway Park last night, too. That would have been something.
The 1-1 on the way. Line to left field, and it gets down for a base hit. McKenzie over to pick it up, but a little bobble as Bush heads for second. The throw. Got him! Anthony McKenzie, who struggled to pick that ball up, wheeled around and threw an absolute seed to second base. Bush gunned down on his way there, and that ends the top of the 9th inning. We head on to the bottom of this frame with the Dores trailing by just 1 run, so don't miss the ending of this one. Cromwell, Collins, and Pinckney coming up when we come back.
My favorites. Proud to be an American. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free.
And what's your favorite breakfast food?
Oh, my favorite on the West Coast. I don't know if it's a thing back east, but Spam.
Wheels or doors?
I think wheels, honestly, because you use wheels like more than I feel like you would use doors, because if you're moving things around, more than likely it's on a wheel.
Well, the Dores are down to their last chance here at Guv Fuller Field against the Yarmouth Dennis Red Sox. 3-2 is your score, and Falmouth has just 3 outs to play with against right-hander Luke Jewett on for his 2nd inning of work. He struck out Jacob Walsh to end the 8th inning, and now comes back to try to drop the curtain on the Dores and finish off the 12th win of the season for these division-leading Red Sox.
On the other side, it's Falmouth that's trying to grab its 9th win. You know, 3-game winning streak is on the line here. Not sure what it is, Carter, but the Bats find a way to go ice cold against the Red Sox. We saw it in the Sunday doubleheader a couple of days back where Falmouth only scored 1 run, and it came off the bat of a guy who's not even here anymore, and Braden Taylor made the collegiate national team down in Cary, North Carolina. All starts right here with Josiah Cromwell, a guy that's 0 for 3. Not a bad time to find a hit here. You could say that this guy is due.
Cromwell today 0 for 3. The Dores haven't lost in 3 games. Y-D hasn't won in 3 games, so something's about to give here in the bottom of the 9th. First pitch to Cromwell is down low as it skips off the leg protectors of Gonzalez behind the plate. 1-0 the count. Jewett peering in, and now the 1-0 delivery. Low again. 2-0 the count on Cromwell.
Talk a lot about how these Commodore hitters find ways to work counts. This is where it matters most right here. It's where you prove how smart of a hitter you are, how good your eyes are at the plate.
Hitters count here, 2-0. Breaking ball caught the outer half, and it's 2-1. Bottom of the ninth, Cromwell trying to lead things off here for the Dores. And remember, no extra innings here in the Cape. 2-1 pitch again, same spot. Cromwell exchanges a look with home plate umpire Mickey Garcia. But the count now even at 2-2.
It's because he knows that those pitches that he's been catching from other pitchers on the other side have been balls.
2-2. Tap to shortstop. Haas, backhand pick and a long throw in time. Finally done by Hunter Haas over at shortstop. And that's the first out here in the bottom of the ninth inning.
Just a great way to stick with the ball. Looking like the other guy that wore number 2 in pinstripes, Derek Jeter, on that play. You know, he stuck with it off the lip. There's a lot of lips on that left side of the infield, and it brought a quicker bounce to it. Haas got it with the backhand and just flinged it, and it was right on a line. Mike Bovey over there at first base never even had to move once.
First pitch to Corey Collins is in for a strike on the outer half to the lefty batter. Falmouth DH today 0 for 2 with a walk. And you notice now the defense for Y-D playing more or less straight up with the second baseman shading Collins to pull. They don't want to give up anything cheap here in this ninth inning. Fouled back 0-2. So Collins, who has been heavily shifted today, does have some space up the middle, but doesn't have quite the room to roam over on the left side that he had in his first 3 at-bats. 0-2 the count with the bases empty, and Luke Jewett trying to close the door. Swing and a miss, and that's out number 2 here in the bottom of the ninth. Jewett easily dispatches Collins, and Andrew Pinckney is the hitter with 2 outs and the bases empty. And who else would the Dores rather have than this center fielder who just 2 days ago blasted 2 home runs against the Catuit Kettleers?
4 simple words: man of the hour.
Defense straight up for Y-D. Righty-righty matchup. Pinckney watches strike 1 go by. It's 0-1. Breaking ball on the outer half. That slider from Jewett has Pinckney down 0-1. Fastball a little bit off the plate, and the count even at 1-1. So the sun finally setting here at the Guv in what has been a lightning quick game. 2 hours and 41 minutes so far, but only slowed by some pitching changes. Another slider, but a little lower, and didn't catch the zone, says home plate umpire Mickey Garcia. So 2-1 the count on Pinckney.
And Gonzalez held it there. He held it there because he knew that that was a very similar pitch to one that Josiah Cromwell saw a couple of batters ago.
Time at the plate. So no visit from Gonzalez to Jewett on the mound, who is 1 out away from putting the finishing touches on another win for these Red Sox. Looking for a dozen on the summer. Cut on and missed by Pinckney. And the count 2-2. The Dores down to their final out and strike here in the ninth inning with nobody on. Pinckney today 1 for 2. Was hit his last time up. Later came around to score. 2-2, grounded up the middle. Haas to his left from short. On the run, throws, and it gets him in time. And that's the ball game. So the Yarmouth Dennis Red Sox, in their first trip to Guv Fuller Field this summer, take down the red-hot Falmouth Commodores 3-2. So a low-scoring game, Trey, one that went by pretty quickly, but it's the division-leading Red Sox who get the last laugh as right-hander Luke Jewett closes the door, and Y-D escapes with a 1-run win.
You said it. Total game time 2 hours and 43 minutes. Just really unfortunate. The bat's going silent when the Y-D pitchers come up, and it's another Yarmouth Dennis starter that cruises through. Eric Yost had 6 2/3 innings, only giving up 4 hits, 2 walks, a couple of strikeouts. You know, he trusted his defense, and the defense helped Yost out. Bats go cold again for the Dores. Really important to get back into the swing of things against Orleans. First time Falmouth will head there tomorrow.
So Orleans, the last remaining place that Falmouth has yet to travel this season, but we'll be out there tomorrow as the Dores try to regroup against the Orleans Firebirds. So don't miss that broadcast. 6:30 first pitch between those two teams. As you see our entire production crew tonight, big shout out to our video director, Sean Aldrin, and all the names you see on the screen who help our broadcast run so smoothly and so effectively on our YouTube channel. But for now, this has been Carter Bainbridge along with Trey Redfield and our field reporter, Logan Soforenko, signing off for tonight. We'll see you tomorrow in Orleans, and good night.